Hi everyone, that's Black here, and welcome back to my Game Corner. 2025 has come to an end and the new year is finally here. I hope it's off to a good start for you. I think it's a good time to check what's coming out this year to add to your wish list and to just get a feel of what's to come in 2026. So get comfortable, grab some tea or hot chocolate, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. Let's start with the topic that's closest to my channel's core. Horror. Surprisingly, this time I don't have a huge list of horror titles that are 100% guaranteed to be released in 2026, but I still have some interesting games. Let's start with the elephant in the room. Resident Evil 9 Requiem is coming out on February 27, 2026. The new part in the great survival horror saga promises to be interesting, but to be honest, I didn't quite understand one detail from the gameplay demo. What viewpoint will it be played from? The Steam page says it's third person, suggesting a classic survival horror experience. However, I found YouTube footage that shows both third and first person perspectives, suggesting the game might be switchable. That would be really cool, but I'd venture to guess the game will still follow the classic Resident Evil formula. Lots of puzzles, lots of monsters, and a complex plot. Everything Resident Evil players love so much. Capcom themselves are promising a terrifying survival horror game with the return of old faces. Yes, the beloved Leon S. Kennedy is supposed to get his arc completed in this part. To be fair, judging by the screenshots, players and fans have a reason to worry as Leon might be infected with something. Overall, we're looking forward to another survival horror masterpiece from Capcom. Pre-orders are already open, so you can pause the video and grab it now. The price is a bit steep, to say the least, but I don't think that will stop the fans. The next game we're definitely looking forward to is Subliminal from Accidental Studios. The game was originally planned for release in the fourth quarter of 2025, but something went wrong and it will now be released in March 2026. The game captivates me not only with its hyper-realistic graphics, but also with its surrealism. Everything here resembles a dream, a reminder of childhood. It's a surprising combination of something painfully close and familiar, and yet somehow strange. I've never experienced such feelings in a game based on liminal spaces before, which is strange because that's what liminal spaces should do, right? That's what hooked me. You can currently play the demo version of the game and get a taste of what's to come in the final version. The only thing I didn't particularly like so far is the monster, but it's too early to draw any conclusions. Overall, the game looks absolutely magical, so I'm looking forward to the final version. And then I'll have a full review where I'll dive into the game in more detail. Besides horrors, we can also expect shooters in the new year. Mao's PI for Hire from Fumi Games is scheduled for release on March 19, 2026. It's pure Doom but in style of 1930s cartoons. The game looks absolutely magical and caught my attention back in 2024. The game was also promised for 2025, but then again, the developers needed more time. This can only mean that the game will be even more intense and diverse. You can already see a multitude of different mechanics in the trailers. Magical style, lots of guns, and a little blood, a great combo for an arcade first-person shooter. Warhammer 40k fans haven't been forgotten this year either. Our Roach Digital's new release, Warhammer 40k Boltgun 2, promises fun and varied gameplay in a brutal world of endless war. The visual style of the first game remains intact, but new weapons, enemies, and numerous new locations have been added. This pixelated bloodbath is sure to please both Warhammer fans and fans of hyper-dynamic shooters in general. If you haven't played the first part, it's a great time to try it out. Trust me, if your favorite games are Doom and Ultrakill, it's a must. There's something for platformer fans too. The long-awaited action platformer Clown Meat is coming out in 2026. The game is made by the same person as Swallow the Sea, Perfect Vermin, and the one who voiced Travis from Wick, Talia Bob Mayer, in collaboration with Autumn West. Clown Meat is a creepy, slightly grotesque platformer somewhat similar in gameplay to Super Meat Boy. Charming pixel graphics, a variety of dynamic levels, and a thrilling experience are sure to please every platformer fan. The game is currently available in demo versions, so you can try it out now. Meanwhile, next year our old friends will also be returning, the wonderful Metronomic studio known to you from my review of No Straight Roads. You can watch the video through the link below. The first game, No Straight Roads, was an unconventional 3D rhythm platformer and in sense a boss rush. Accordingly, the second game in the series, No Straight Roads 2, is coming in 2026. The game doesn't intend to lag behind its predecessor. In this part, the main characters go on a tour, spreading the word of rock throughout the world, which means only one thing: new bosses, new characters, new quests, new locations, and another unconventional adventure filled with music. The game's exact release date is unknown at the moment, but I'm hoping it to be released on summer so I can review it. That would be exactly a year after I reviewed the first game. Sounds pretty symbolic. For those who haven't played No Straight Roads yet, I recommend checking out the first part and adding the second one to your wishlist. If you don't have time though, you know what to do. Links to the video are below. Among the unusual games, or at least for this channel, we're expecting Into the Unwell in 2026. It's a cartoonish 3D roguelike with a style somewhat reminiscent of old Disney. I actually stumbled upon this game completely by accident thanks to Steam recommendations, and I was instantly hooked by its visuals. It has a beautiful style and action. Judging by the trailer, the game will feature co-op, but solo play will be also possible. The game is filled with dark humor, various enemies, bosses, and judging by everything, even platforming. The game is currently in early access, so you can definitely check out some of the episodes. According to the developers, several levels, bosses, characters, and upgrades are currently available. Overall, I highly recommend it to all the fans of The Binding of Isaac, and have a nice death. Hey, remember Hollow Knight Silksong? The much hyped metroidvania is getting its first DLC this year, Sea of Sorrow. It will be free, of course. Let's hope the game has as much additional content as the first game had. Hopefully, there won't be any delays, and the DLC will actually release in 2026. There is not much information about the DLC yet, but I hope the developers will share their progress soon. If you were afraid or for some reason didn't want to play Silksong, I think now is the time to give it a try, especially since the game has been balanced based on player requests. However, I still advise you to play the first part, just in case. Another game that was supposed to be released in 2025, but due to the well-known scandal will be in 2026, is the long-awaited Subnautica 2. A huge number of fans are already eagerly awaiting the new part of this eerie underwater survival game. I, being a thalassophobe, am equally eager for a new ocean of content to explore. Literally. A whole new underwater world to explore, new flora and fauna, new leviathans, and multiplayer. The game promises to be incredibly exciting, captivating, and terrifying all at once. Despite my terrible fear of underwater landscapes and creatures, I am already eagerly awaiting the release of the second part of Subnautica. The developers also promise early access soon. Now all we have to do is wait. If you want to support me with more than just liking and subscribing, consider checking out the link in the description. There you can donate any sum of money starting from $1. Any donation is appreciated. Thank you in advance. So that concludes the list of the games definitely coming out in 2026. But that's not the end of the video. There are still games I suspect will be released in 2026, but the exact date and even the year are still unknown. However, I think it's worth sharing these games with you just in case you find something you'll be looking forward as much as I do. A creepy offbeat horror game for shark lovers from Alice Games called Shark Dentist is set to release soon. In this game, you'll be treating the teeth of various sharks. But be careful, patients aren't very patient, and any pain can make them nervous. And you definitely don't want to know what happens if a fish gets too nervous. Dental skills and constant monitoring of the patient's health and nerves will help you in this mission to treat this bloodthirsty fish. And this game will help me use my knowledge of sharks for videos. A few random facts won't hurt, eh? So far in the trailers we've seen a couple of types of sharks and the result of negligent patient care, and of course some attempts at dental treatment. The only thing that really bothers me is that there is relatively little information about Shark Dentist. The developer's Twitter account is completely empty, even though the game is constantly advertised there. The last news were in October. Otherwise, I still hope the game comes out in 2026 and will be awesome, because it looks very promising. Meanwhile, Bobber Bros, a studio already known for its realistic psychological horror games, is once again preparing to scare us with a new brutal game. After the internet shaking no means nothing, we can expect anything from them. However, the game's title is already quite telling: Happy House. Naturally, the game will be about abusive parents, or more precisely, a mother who behaves like an angel in public, but as soon as the child is left alone with her, she turns into a cruel tyrant monster. A terrifying reality, most likely based on true events, and something that caught my attention for personal reasons. I hope I'll have the strength to review it. By the way, I recommend checking out their projects, and also take the disclaimers in these games very seriously. Believe me, these are not just simple psychological horror games. Just in case, I've warned you. I've been dedicating this New Year's holiday season to Doom the Dark Ages. What better way to relax and unwind than by beating up demons? Of course, there's supposed to be a DLC coming out for this game. So far we've only seen one image of it, and it's not exactly announced yet, but there are some details already. For example, the developers are planning to bring back the Slayer's Gate, which sounds incredibly amusing, especially considering that they were removed from the main game. The speculation that the DLC might release in 2026 arose due to the DLC releases for Doom Eternal, but this is highly uncertain. Discussions are currently ongoing on streams and so on, but since there hasn't been a full announcement, who knows when it will appear. But we know for sure that there's going to be a cold winter location. Doom Guy's cloak will finally be needed. Oh my god, what's this cute little frog? It's a fast-paced platformer, Croak from Woodrunner Games. By the way, the artists and animators behind Cuphead and Rick and Morty worked on this game. I know someone who might like this game. Pizza Tower fans, of course. By the way, judging by the footage, the game really does resemble Pizza Tower, and you can also even use your tongue to grab walls. How can you not adore this charming, action-packed game? I think this little frog alone is worth buying the game for. The game itself is an unusual, fast-paced platformer with lots of different mechanics, wall jumps, bosses, and apparently even collectibles. And it looks like it can give a pretty good challenge too. The charming style and awesome graphics will appeal to everyone, especially with such an adorable main character. The game is coming out soon, but for now it's available in beta playtest. Well, that's all I have for now. My list may be not long, but it's very diverse, and I hope each of you found something special for yourself. You can write in the comments any new releases you're looking forward to. And you can also write reviews of which games from the list you'd like to see on my channel. That's all from me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice one. Bye!